Hello, prospective helmsmen. I'm Lieutenant Arbitrary Sketch, and I'll be covering some helm control basics, as well as my personal recommendations for helmsman controls. Of all the bridge officers on the ship, the helm has the most direct influence on a ship's survival and success. So if the helm is done poorly, everything else falls apart. So it's important for helmsmen to be informed and competent. The helm can be controlled with your keyboard in combination with your mouse or flight stick. A flight stick is highly recommended, even a simple one. But helm can be operated with mouse and keyboard. I recommend doing as little as possible with your mouse on the screen, so to that end, knowing your keyboard hotkeys is vital. The commands I'll go over in this video will be the default settings, but you can customize your hotkeys in the controls file in your Artemis folder. The first order of business is to decide what zoom level is best for you. You can zoom in with the T key and out with the Y key. Ideally, you want to be able to see everything within 5,000 meters. Indicated by the gray circle around your ship. For me, this is zoom level 3, but a smaller window might prefer 4, while a larger window can see everything with zoom 2. Using the same zoom level every time you fly makes it easier for you to judge distance on things like mine drops. To move left and right, you can tilt your flight stick in those respective directions. If you're using the keyboard, A and D will move the maneuvering slider left and right, but it will not return to center when you release the key. Alternately, you can click on the screen anywhere within the circle, and the ship will turn towards the direction you clicked as fast as it can. If you ever need to turn faster, you can ask engineering for a maneuvering boost. To move at impulse, which is not very fast, you can press W to speed up, or S to slow down. On my flight stick, tilting forward and back also accomplishes this, but those settings might be different depending on your setup. You can also move at impulse speed in reverse. To toggle reverse on or off, use the escape key. Keep in mind you cannot go to warp while reverse is active, so if warp is not working, that should be the first thing you should check. Standard TSN impulse speed is slightly slower than normal enemy ships, so if you need to keep ahead of enemies at impulse, you can ask engineering for a boost to impulse. The TSN Mod also has a fuel collector mode. If you have your impulse speed set between 30 and 50%, and your shields are down, after a 15-second delay, the ship will start gaining 25 energy every 3 seconds. Buttons 1 through 4 on your keyboard or flight stick will take you to the matching warp factor, but on a keyboard, you will have to press the same key again to drop out of warp, while the flight stick will drop you out of warp when you release the button. Higher warp factors are less energy efficient. When you're engaging enemies, it is acceptable, and even encouraged, to use small bursts of low warp to make up for a slow impulse speed. You can move the ship to a higher or lower plane by climbing or diving. To dive, press the delete key, and to climb, use the insert key right above it. This can be useful for avoiding asteroids, or to match planes with them to clear drones that might be chasing you. Getting above or below an enemy can also allow your weapons officer to target the far side of the enemy ship, taking advantage of what may be a weakened or damaged shield face. If you need to climb or dive rapidly, a boost to maneuvering will increase the dive or climb rate. Keep in mind that climbing and diving buttons are toggle keys, so once you start diving, you won't stop until you're at the lowest elevation or you press the climb key to level your descent. Docking is a responsibility of the helm officer, and while you can initiate the process from up to 600 meters away from a station, the docking won't actually be complete until the station pulls you in close enough, and the farther you are away when you request to dock, the longer it takes for the process to finish. It will also take a while if you're at a higher or lower elevation, so make sure you climb or dive to the station's level before attempting to dock. The keyboard command to dock is the R key. So that's all for the ship's movement, but a few other hotkeys available to you are the main screen controls and shields, both of which are primarily the responsibility of the weapons officer, but helm should be ready to provide backup if needed. Your main screen is controlled with the F2 through F8 keys, which will turn the camera forward, left, right, and backwards, while F6 through F8 will put tactical, long range, and info views on the main screen. Lastly, you have shield control. Again, shields are primarily in the hands of the weapons officer, but it doesn't hurt for the helm to be ready to raise shields in a pinch. There are 3 keys that will control shields. K will raise them, and L will lower them. The other option is to use Q, which is a toggle key, but I advise never using that key, so that you and the weapons officer don't accidentally end up counteracting each other's shield commands. Whenever I raise shields from the helm station, I hit the K key several times in a row, just in case weapons tries to raise them at the same time. If your weapons officer has the shields under control though, it is their responsibility before it is yours. So that's all I have on basic controls, and as it is with anything, practice is the key to developing your skill. And if there's something you don't know, it's okay to ask. I'm Arbitrary Sketch, and I wish you all good flying.